Hi, I'm Aaliyah Woods, co-founder and farm manager for Commonwealth Urban Farms. Welcome to our Beginning Gardener video series, designed to help you have a successful garden even if you've never planted a seed before in your life. Today's topic is tomatoes, but first let's look at our smart pots from the last few weeks. So this is our first smart pot. We planted lettuce here 4 weeks ago and it looks beautiful. It's just coming along great. A few more weeks and it'll be ready to harvest. Then 3 weeks ago we planted onions and carrots, and the carrots are just coming up now. You can, if you look really close, you can see them. These little tiny seedlings look like grass right there. I moved the smart pot because the fabric was casting shade while they were over here, so I just moved it. So now the carrots are getting more sun. Here's the second smart pot we did. The arugula we planted 2 weeks ago looks great, coming along. The radishes, some of them didn't germinate. Maybe they just got washed away, I'm not sure. So I replanted the holes a few days ago. And then the turnips and chard that we planted last week haven't germinated yet. Tomatoes, the essence of summer, right? We grow lots of different tomatoes, lots of different varieties. We love growing tomatoes. We don't grow many heirloom tomatoes. We mostly grow hybrids because we get so much better production off the hybrids in Oklahoma conditions. A lot of people have trouble growing tomatoes in Oklahoma, and I can understand why. You get great production, the early production in June, and then right when they're ready to really bust out, it gets super hot and they stop producing. So tomatoes like temperatures between 65 and 85, the best. That's when you get the best production and the best fruit set. Over 85 and they start complaining and don't produce so much. Well, what's it like in August and July and August in Oklahoma? We hardly even get down to 85 degrees. So it's kind of a challenge to grow tomatoes during the hot part of the summer here. So there's a couple things you can do to deal with that. In my experience, cherry tomatoes do better in the hot weather than the big slicing tomatoes. Certain varieties in particular. We grow Juliet and Verona, and we also grow Sun Gold. Sun Gold is my favorite. Little orange orbs just bursting with flavor. They're fantastic. So we're going to plant our first tomato, and then I'll show you a couple other tricks. To plant a tomato, we're going to bury it up to its neck. So on the tomato stem, there's little tiny hairs, and that's an indicator that the stem will send out roots. So you don't just get roots at the base where you expect to see roots, but also if you bury it, you'll get roots sending out along the stem where it's under the soil. This is going to make for a stronger root system and a healthier plant, a more resilient plant during periods of heat stress or water stress. So we've got our tomato in like that. The next thing I'm going to do is to mulch it really well. So if we keep the soil cool and at an even temperature, the plant will experience less stress even when the air temperatures get high. So there we go. Now we've got it mulched. And the next thing we're going to do is to water it in really well. When we were planting seeds, we only needed the soil to be moist at the level of the seeds, the depth of the seeds. But now we have a full-size transplant in here. We need to make sure that the soil is moist in the root zone. So that goes further down. As the plant grows, that's going to go further down still. So we'll get our watering can and give it a good watering. This will take a little while. I'll water a little bit now, then I'll come back later and water some more. If you poke your finger down, wait a few minutes, then poke your finger in there and you can see if it's gotten moist down to the depth that you need. So I'll let that water soak in, and then I'll come back in 10 or 15 minutes and give it another watering. We also plant other varieties, like Early Girl is a favorite of ours. Early Girl will give us good production in the early part of the summer. If it's a really hot summer, it'll taper off. If it's a mild summer, it'll keep on producing. But for the really hot part of summer, we depend on the cherry tomatoes for most of our production. You can also give the plants some shade in the afternoon. So the morning sun is not quite so intense, after noon, it gets a lot hotter and more intense sun. And so if you put up a shade cloth on the west side of the plant, or if you have trees or a building providing shade on the west side, that will help too. There we go, our tomato is in. Next week we'll do a little bit of planting of some quick crops around the outside of the bed, and if it's warm enough, we'll plant peppers. Thanks for joining me.